Hey y'all. We're about to get started in just a second. Um just taking a few more minutes to, get people in here. But I'm not gonna take as long as I normally do. At least I'm gonna try not to. So just give me maybe 2 more minutes and we're gonna get right into it. All right, y'all, we're about to get started. Let me turn this music off real quick. Oh, you did? Hopefully that wasn't too much of a hassle dealing with them or dealing with that one at the time. Okay, let me switch over. Oh, wait, hold up. I'm about to really mess up. I thought I had everything together, and I don't. So there's that. But okay, I think we are good to go now. Let me get myself together here, y'all. All right. So, hey, good evening. How y'all doing? Hope everybody is doing great. Thank you to those of you who showed up early and on time. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I do want to make a preface that I'm pet sitting right now. So if you see that little fur ball in the corner, Kobe, come here. Oh my goodness. Oh, stay still. This this is Kobe, and Kobe is staying with me for a couple of days. So stop growling, boy. So, fun. I'm trying to get him to stop terrorizing my baby. But he's doing good. They're doing good. Anyway, once again, welcome back, my sunflowers, to another episode of BPD Squared Live. What's up, Chris? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. I meant to text you. I'm sorry. But yeah, as usual, thank you guys for being here tonight. So as the thumbnail suggests, of course, this one right here, we are going to be talking about friendships and how someone like me who has BPD, how we view them. Can y'all leave each other alone, please? Thank you. And I'm gonna just let y'all know I'm probably going to be fussing a lot throughout this live because he is a little thing who has a mind of his own. He wants to do what he wants to do. So keeping him in line is a thing. But again, he's a sweet boy. He's not giving me too many problems. But anyway, back to the point. So friendship for me is a very strange concept. And I mean that in a way of making friends is a very strange concept for me. It's a hard concept, actually. The problem for me is that I'm not always clear where the boundaries lie between myself and what I would consider a friend and just a person I know. So, you know how there's levels to our relationships with people. We have our friends, we have our acquaintances, and we have just people I know. So it's like sometimes that line is blurred for me, as well as, I'm just in this space of just trying to determine what it is that's causing that struggle. And so I was actually talking to a new friend and she was asking me, how do you move on from old relationships and make new ones? How do you begin to trust people again? And how do you even know and how can you tell that the relationship is worth building? So my response to that was, I'm actually still learning how to do that myself because, like I said before, building relationships, cultivating relationships, especially new ones, is quite hard for me. So I believe I've discovered my reasons why, at least my top 3 reasons why it's difficult for me to make friends. And so that is what we will be covering tonight. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, he's right at my feet, y'all. He's been fun. So before we get into all of that, first let me say good evening to everyone once again. And if you are new to this channel and you have not seen my face before, hey again, Sunflower. My name is Brenda, and again, this is BPD Squared. BPD Squared is a channel that I started after being diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. So this was my way of trying to start a community of sorts of people who were like me and like me, but also a way to just be able to have open discussions about mental health, regardless if it is based on a diagnosis or not. Everybody goes through something at some point. And, my thing was with this channel, giving people the space to talk about it basically, and just connect with other people who may be experiencing the same things that they are. So, with that being said, though, I do want to make it clear that I am not a licensed medical professional. So, I am not able to diagnose anyone, nor am I able to give any psychiatric, therapeutic, or medical advice. What I do on this channel, what I can do on this channel, is offer you guys some advice based on my experiences, based on my research, based on lessons that I've learned along the way. That's basically all I can share with you at this point. However, if you or a loved one is suffering from a mental crisis, I want you to refer to the link that I have in my description box, my flower box below, that will take you to a link on my website, which I'm going to show you also on the screen here. So behind me is a list of resources that you can utilize if you or a loved one is suffering through a mental health crisis at this point, or if you're just seeking some help in whatever it is you may be dealing with at this time. As you can see, these different resources cater to different needs. And when you go on the website as well, there is a database that you can go to find clinics or psychiatrists or just help in your local area. So yeah, please make sure you're utilizing that if you need it. With the family. Wait, what does that say? I can't see it. I got you though. Okay. Now, let me switch back because I don't think there's anything else. Oh yeah. Let me make sure where I'm at because I'm trying to read and do all this at the same time. Y'all know I can't multitask that well. Well, I can, but I can't. Never mind. Anyway, and the last thing that I want to mention to you guys is, of course, a trigger warning. I do want to make it clear that this channel is a mental health channel. And so some of the topics that we discuss on here could be potentially upsetting or triggering, or just be uncomfortable for some people. I do my best at the end of all my lives to put timestamps, so that way, if you did have to check out of a video, you can at least, come back to it and know where it picks back up, where the section is, and how to navigate through the video. Because personally, I would rather you be safe and just watch it later than to risk harm to yourself just to give me a like and a view. So with that said, all my content, please watch at your own discretion. And again, do not put yourself in a position to risk something if you know that the topic can potentially be triggering to you. So I think I got everything out the way that I wanted to say. So now we can move on to the topic of the night. Again, the 3 reasons why I have trouble making friends. So first and foremost, I have trust issues. So I'm not just distrusting with others. It's more that I'm distrusting with myself. I feel that I personally give too much to a relationship in the beginning. And it's part people pleasing, and the other part is that shiny new honeymoon phase kind of thing. So I put myself in this position to kind of do too much for that new friend. Like, I overextend myself basically. So I'm constantly like showing up as much as I can, like going out of my way to just basically do whatever it is that they need done. Because I'm so concerned about being a good friend and a fun friend and this friend and that friend, all the positive levels of friend. But the problem that I run into is that I end up creating this persona of myself, or creating this expectation is what I should say, of myself, that I end up not being able to replicate that the next time. So basically, I'm just there making life hard for myself, for lack of a better term. So with that, like I said, that whole shiny new phase, they call that the idolization phase. And so with that, I'm seeing this person as pretty much like they're standing there with their arms outstretched and there's the glow, the around them. That's the point. That's the place that I'm in the very beginning. Everything they do is great. Everything they do is wonderful. And everything they do is interesting, etc., etc. So the next issue that follows that, though, is being in a place where I'm like, okay, after this is all said and done, after that new relationship smell wears off, I then go into, okay, then what? You know? So from idolization comes devaluation. So I literally go from the best thing that probably ever happened to me. They are the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed in my life. They do everything they do is the greatest thing ever, to realizing, oh wait, this person is still a human after all. This person actually has flaws. This person actually has problems, right? So it's like, oh, they exist as a regular human. And so when those thoughts start coming in, I get to a point that I'm like, oh. And I start realizing parts of them don't really match what I built them to be. So I really believe too that I get to this point because I'm not creating boundaries for myself in my relationships either. So what I mean is that I'll go into a relationship, a new relationship with someone, whether it be a dating relationship or just a platonic, being friendly relationship. I put myself in the back because I'm so concerned about meeting their needs and respecting their boundaries and respecting what it is that they are expecting to get out of the relationship, that I don't allow myself to put my needs and boundaries on the table as well. And again, once we get out of that honeymoon phase and go into that devaluation stage, and I start noticing the little things that I let slide initially, I start to want to then implement my boundaries. Now, logically, there's no wrong time to really implement boundaries, because even if you had boundaries that you set in the beginning, there's nothing that says that you can't change those things or you can't add to them later. So there is no wrong time to implement boundaries. But I do personally feel that when I get to that point, it is kind of causing a problem because I've let those things go on for so long that to bring it up now and to make it seem as if, oh yeah, by the way, this is a problem, it kind of doesn't seem right, and it really doesn't seem fair. But that's something I'm working through. So I have gotten better at making my absolutes known up front, like my absolute don't cross this for real thing. I feel like I'm pretty good at implementing that, but just other small things that I know bother me, I'll still like kind of let them slide because I'm trying to still again fit into that good friend category. So again, like I said, with the devaluation phase, I do realize that part of that is, well, most of that is my fault. But it's also, like I said, a hard battle in my head to tell myself that people are human and people make mistakes and they're allowed to make decisions that I don't agree with. because I'm also wondering, do I go through that devaluation part because I'm starting to see flaws or because of something different? I don't know if it's just accepting their humanity or if it's me just not liking what they had to say that day. Like, I don't know if it's genuinely a boundary cross or if it's a split moment, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm working to see people as people and remind myself that people can make decisions that I don't agree with. I don't have to like it. I just have to accept it. And I'm also learning that people are allowed to hurt my feelings. And even as I wrote this out, because I have to look at my script because y'all know I'll just go. As as I was writing this out, I really had to take a moment and let that part sink in, because I have to really allow people to hurt my feelings, but not in the sense of they're just out here intentionally trying to hurt me. I mean, if somebody has something to say that I know is going to benefit me or benefit them in the long run, if something happens and I don't agree, but it's still within reason, it's still within respect of each other, I'm learning that that is something that can happen and that is allowed to happen. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm really, really working through. But on the flip side of that, though, I'm still working through also that fear of abandonment. And I used to be afraid of that, telling people what they need to know. I've been afraid of telling people things that I know are beneficial to them, but I would hold it back. I would hold it back because I'm like, man, I know they need to hear this, but I really don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to say something that's going to make them angry. I don't want to, make them feel uncomfortable. So I'm gonna just try to say it in a polite way, or you know what, I'm gonna just endure it. I'm gonna just deal with it because I don't want them to feel like they're not being accepted, or basically I'm displacing my trauma onto them. That's really all that is. And so I've, like I said, come to a point where I'm realizing, though, if I love someone, then the best thing for me is to bark at them. Come here. Come. Oh no, now they're both starting, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. Boys. They hear my neighbors outside, so they're going through it. I'm trying to get them to calm down so I can get back on topic. Y'all done? Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. They made me lose my place. I forgot where I was. But anyway, I believe I was saying the thing is that I've started growing. Fear of abandonment definitely can be the worst, especially if you assume they'll leave after disagreement. You are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, so yes, fear of abandonment is a thing for me because like I said, previously I was afraid to tell people what they needed to know, especially if I knew that it was going to be helpful to them. But like I said, I'm growing out of that and realizing that true love, at least for me, is telling somebody exactly what they need to hear, even if they don't like it. Something that you know is going to be helpful for them, even if they don't like it. And so I'm getting to a point where I'm allowing myself to be that person as well as receive it from other people. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, if y'all see me on this camera and I got some in my teeth, I got a booger hanging out my nose or something, y'all better say something. Because I don't want to be out here looking crazy. Like, do I look? Hold on. All right, I'm good. I'm good. So just want to make that clear. But anyway, the biggest thing too is with that fear of abandonment and that devaluation phase, knowing that I hurt somebody or did something that they don't approve of, it sends me into panic mode. And my initial thought is I must fix it. I don't know why that's a thing, but my main thing is if I mess it up, immediately I need to go fix it. How do I fix it? How do I take care of it? Just how do I make it better for you? And I guess by me saying, oh, if I fix it, then I'm showing how much I care. I'm showing how much I really want to be there for this person. I'm showing them that I would do pretty much anything to make it better for, well, almost anything to make it better for them. Basically, I'm just trying to do as much as I can so that they don't hate me. Which I want to backtrack a little bit because I feel like I said a whole lot and kind of ran that through. But basically, just to recap, like I said, my first issue is that I don't trust people and I don't trust myself in the very beginning because I am still learning what's acceptable and what's bound and what constitutes boundary lines. The other thing is that I have a difficult time setting boundaries in general because my main concern is I want you to know that I am a good friend versus we're being friends to each other. And so with that, like I finished off the last point, I will do all of that. And even if it comes to a point where even if it comes to a point where it feels as if that person is going to leave, interestingly for me, like I said, with BPD, that fear of abandonment is that somebody's going to leave. The thing for me, though, I'm less affected by a person leaving. I'm more concerned about a person leaving that's angry with me. I don't want anybody to have a bad image of me, is the point, I believe. At least that's the point of abandonment for me. Is I don't want anybody, like, because if we have to go our separate ways, that's fine. I can respect that because, like I said, at the end of the day, my thing is I'm always considering the other person's boundaries and want to make sure that they still see good parts of me, even in the end. But it's also a matter of I would rather you be gone and happy than keep you in a situation where you're just mad at me all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm more concerned about you being mad than anything else. And now somebody's outside whistling, so it's got his attention again. Anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody's good and everybody's following. I feel like I'm a little all over the place today. To be very, very honest with you guys, this past couple of weeks has been trying. We had a couple of deaths in the family. There was some other stuff that went on behind the scenes, some work stuff, some home stuff. So It's been a lot going on, and I think also today it kind of finally hit me how much was going on, because I think, and I noticed this about myself too, that I'm trying to work on catching it when it actually happens. I'm getting better at that. But I know for me, when something is particularly stressing, I dissociate. And so it just came to my attention from myself how much I've been dissociating from. And today it kind of just came full force to me. So I'm hoping that I'm making sense to you guys, and I'm hoping that what I'm saying in my point here about this topic is coming through clear, because I'm trying to focus my brain. I have my script in front of me, but my brain is just very scrambled right now, because there's, like I said, there was just been a lot going on. So regardless, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me and supporting me all the time. So yeah, but I'm going to get back into this last point, because I kind of didn't want to go too long on this tonight either. So my final point on why it is difficult for me to make friends is that guilt and disappointment is a big thing for me. I don't handle disappointment well, especially if I'm the one doing the disappointing. It is honestly the worst pain to me. It's the worst pain knowing that something that I could have said or done directly affects someone who was either dependent on me and or is relying on me. Well, that's the same thing. Someone who is dependent on me, and also someone who considers me a friend. I have a hard time with making friends because of the expectation of friendship. And I'm not really sure how to explain that any further than that. I'm going to try my best. My understanding of friends is people that check in on you, people you hang out with, people you have shared interests with, X, Y, and Z, yada yada yada. And I don't know, I think it could be also just having a hard time letting people in, and allowing them to just exist in my world, I guess. Hey, sweetie. Because I do, like I said earlier, I noticed for me becoming friends, I have the idolization phase. And then I start to see the human. And so I start going into devaluation. And I subconsciously start pushing people away. Or no, that's pretty much it. I will subconsciously start pushing people away, because it's like, you're not what I expected, or you're not what I made you out to be, which again, that's not their fault. That's my fault. And once it gets to that point, I start realizing, oh no, if we actually stop being friends, then we'll actually stop being friends. And so it changes from that you're not what I thought you were to I'll do anything to salvage what I thought I had. So going back to that, it's hard, because I know with friends and being in relationships in general, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be let down. You're going to be upset. And it's just allowing myself to accept that that's a reality is hard. It is hard. And so, like, trigger warning, guys. This is the trigger warning. I made a mistake and it devastated me. I let somebody down and I don't like doing that. But what I can say is how I would have responded in the past. I did not do that this time. So I am proud of myself. But in the past, trigger warning, I would have drifted into a spiral. I would have let intrusive thoughts take over. I would have balled up in a corner with a knife, and I would have been contemplating how can I get away with harming myself and not making my husband upset. And then I would be talking myself out of doing it all together, because then how would I explain it to him as well? Even though I'm still gripping very tightly onto this blade or whatever. So, like I said, I'm proud of myself that I did not go through that this time. I did not allow myself to go through that. What I did instead was I cried. I got my feelings out. I admitted how I felt, and I called my husband, and I got those intrusive thoughts out as well. And the thing about having that conversation with him and the kind of relationship that we built together, he helps me see the reality of the situation and not what anxiety and fear is telling me to see or is telling me is there. He keeps me grounded, and he tells me, okay, what did they actually say? What was actually done? What did you actually see? Keep you in reality. He keeps me in reality. And a side note on that, I feel like for a lot of people, and I'm just generalizing, but I feel like it's a common thing, not just amongst people who have a diagnosis or BPD, but just people in general. I feel like people internalize what is perceived by a person, or we perceive what somebody means instead of internalizing what's actually being said, what they are actually saying at that moment. And I feel like a lot of us, when it comes to those things, we don't hear that. We don't hear what's presently being said. We're hearing the trauma. We're hearing the fear. And we're prepping ourselves for what we expect them to say. So again, I'm guilty of that. Whenever I talk to someone and I get, bad news, or they're saying, hey, this happened, it really breaks me down. It really does. I don't know where it really stems from, to be honest, but I really don't like disappointing anyone. I don't like putting anybody in a space that they feel they can't trust me or they can't believe me or, anything like that. But again, I'm training my brain to see what's actually happening in the moment as it's happening versus me connecting the moment to something in the past. So let me make sure he is right behind me, so I might roll over him. I'm not gonna roll over him, but I'm trying to see where he is so I don't roll over him, is what I'm trying to say. Goodness gracious. Anyway, I do want to say that I am very, very glad that I decided to get back on the platform and, start these chats with you guys, because it's having these conversations, even though I know I'm talking to a camera and I'm responding to people live in chat, which is what I was supposed to be doing. I was trying to open up chat so I could see what's going on. But at the same time, it's like this is helping me open myself up more to the possibility of more friendships and more relationships, and just allowing more people in. So I guess a bonus point that I can put out here Let me turn this down. Um, I guess a bonus point also, if you want to call it that, that one of the final reasons why it's hard for me to make friends too is I have a hard time making friends with women. And this is because my first real experience of abandonment and heartbreak came from a woman. My first experience of abuse came from a woman. My first experience of bullying and rejection came from women. So throughout my life, I've associated women with pain. And right now, I'm training my brain to not see women as women. And I don't want to sound sexist or anything when I say this, but I'm trying to not see women as women. I'm trying to see women as people and allow them to exist as they are. More importantly, I'm training myself to not see them as someone who is out to hurt me also. So what I'm also learning to do, it's something that I like to say that I already do with men as far as like when it comes to dating and certain relationships with men. I'm learning to do this with women as well. I do my best to not place the faults of one on that of the whole. In other words, I don't put what somebody did to me in the past. I try not to put what this guy did on the next guy. I'm not, so say my ex cheated on me or whatever. I do my best to not expect the next man I get with to cheat on me because this new man didn't do it. The other guy did. That was his thing. This I'm not expecting you to do because you're a completely different person. I'm needing to learn, and I am learning how to also put that in the same spectrum for women in my life. I am working through it. It's hard, but I am doing more to open myself up to more relationships with women. So, like I said, I just met a couple people online and they've been very, very sweet and we've been having great conversations. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And just friends in my past too, I've been able to reach back out to them as well and have conversations, and things have been growing. You know what I mean? It's been getting better. So like I said, I'm grateful for the fact that I decided to get back online and have these conversations with you guys. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but I'm just glad I'm able to voice it. So that way I know that, if there's somebody else that feels the same way I feel, that you're not alone. And also, just gives the opportunity to connect with even more people. Because like I said, at the end of the day, what I want to build is a community. So I'm hoping with this and being open about it, we can do that. So my final thoughts on this topic is, especially if you're diagnosed with BPD, my final thoughts is take it slow when you're meeting new people and making new friends. Try not to place too many expectations on them and do your best to not overextend yourself trying to gain their favor. Do your best to keep it minimalistic and realistic. Look for what is in front of you. Pay attention to what's in front of you and try your best not to make it out to be something that it's not, and don't look for the expectation. Try not to set expectations in new relationships. Allow people to exist in the way that they are and let them gradually show you who they are. Because I know for me, and probably others that have BPD, we want to know everything about that person up front. We want to know, okay, where are you from? Where you been? Who you been with? What's your name? What's your family's name? What's your, we want to know everything. Your favorite color, your favorite food, what you're allergic to. We want to know everything. And one of the things I also feel that puts me in a burnout phase after that idolization phase is the fact, and that's a good point. I should have said that earlier. After idolization, you get to burnout. I think that's really what causes me personally to go into devaluation, is the fact that you have done so much to get to know this person. You've done so much to be as into them as possible that you get burnt out. And you're like, I can't maintain this. I can't keep up with this all the time. This is a lot. It's a lot to do. And it's not their fault. It's really our fault. It's definitely our fault. But it's still the fact that we're like, oh man, I'm in burnout phase now. So now you start to get devaluing because you're like, I want to calm it down. And now you're starting to see everything. So that burnout phase, to avoid that burnout phase, I should say, or to prolong the burnout phase is probably a better way to put it, because I feel like it's going to happen regardless. But to prolong it is to allow yourself to let stuff kind of happen naturally. Try not to force information, try not to force things to happen in a relationship based on, like I said, don't base your relationships on your fears. Don't base your relationships on the expectations from the past. Don't base your relationships on finding someone. Oh, good main point. Don't base relationships on finding someone to fix what somebody did in the past. Again, for me, I try my best not to find someone who won't do what the last person did. I just try to find someone who is going to be beneficial to me, as far as I can learn from them, I can grow with them, and they can teach me something and I can teach them something. I'll say it again. Don't go into relationships looking for someone to fix what somebody else messed up. That's not their job. That is not their job. And finally, second to finally, if you are unclear about something in these relationships, especially the new ones, don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of times I feel, especially in my past relationships, one of the things that really, really messed us up is the fact, like I said, I was too afraid to open my mouth and say something. And also when I didn't understand something, I didn't let that be known. And so now I'm cruising through hoping to find understanding instead of just saying, hey, this is something I don't know or something I'm not getting. So yeah, be open in your relationships. Let people, if you're not understanding something, if you feel like you're not respecting a boundary, or if you feel like you're unclear about a boundary or just anything in the relationship, you should be allowed to ask those questions so you can get that clarity. Open communication is very, very, very important. And finally, set clear boundaries, not just for them, but for yourself as well. Tell yourself what you will and will not allow, and tell yourself what you will not and will not do when it comes to cultivating the relationship. Take time to learn yourself, learn what your personal boundaries are, what your values are, and things that you know are not going to cause issues for you in the long run. Take time to learn that. And take time to learn how you navigate with those things. And you're good, Travis, or Scarlet System, because I don't know if I'm specifically speaking to Travis or not, but you're good. But with that being said, again, guys, I appreciate you all joining me tonight. Like I said, this week has been a bit of a roller coaster. Had a lot going on, but it's also interesting because for all the bad news I got, following right behind it was good news. And so I'm going to be honest, I'm grateful for it, but I'm very conflicted. I am very conflicted. Hey, Piper. Um, yeah, I'm just very conflicted on how to really feel about everything. That's why I say it's kind of piling on me all at once right now. Oh no, I'm not gonna cry. It's kind of piling on me all at once right now. So I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed. And when I spoke to my friend earlier, she was like, you're probably just overstimulated. There's a lot going on. And I don't, she's good. I didn't really think about it like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I am overstimulated. There is a lot going on in my brain right now. And there's a lot going on in my life right now. Like I've had to make a lot of split minute, like last minute decisions in the past couple weeks. I've had to make a lot of adjustments to a lot of things in the past couple of weeks. And it is overwhelming. It is overstimulating. And I feel also that it's causing me to kind of neglect my friendships in a way. I feel like it's causing me to neglect really myself too. So with all that, it's like I'm trying to find that balance again, trying to get myself back into a point of understanding, okay, this is what you need, this is what you don't need, and this is what you can work in as you may. But yeah, it's just been a lot, y'all. But like I said, I'm grateful for the experiences. I'm grateful for the journey because like I said, at the end of it all, it still all came out good. Still struggling with that guilt though. But anyway, y'all, damn country. Anyway, I want to remind you guys in the Houston area specifically, if you're coming out to support BPD squared at my party, I'm gonna show this real quick. Just a reminder that is going on. It is the BPD. I'm sorry, I got some of my. It is the BPD Square fundraisers. This is the very first fundraiser that I've ever held, so I'm very excited about it. And yeah, so the details are all here. I will have a link in my flower box below so that you can go to the website and see even more of the details so you can know what's going on and what to expect. If you are not in the Houston area, if you are not able to make it to the party, but you still want to show your support for BPD Squared, for this channel, and for me and my birthday, you can still go to the links as well, and they're used as donations as well. So either you're purchasing your ticket or you can donate. Any dollar amount is accepted because I just appreciate the fact that, anybody would want to be supportive of what I'm trying to do here in general. If you're coming to the party, though, it's $10. So, but yeah, with that said, I just wanted to put that out there as a reminder. So I'm hoping to see a lot of y'all there. But outside of that, like I said, I'm bringing this down to a close. I know this live was very quick. And I kind of intended it to be that way because, like I said, I got a lot on my mind and I don't want to prolong it more than I have to. So make sure if you like this video, if you like this content, that you leave a like. If you have something to share along the lines of whether or not it's difficult for you to make friends, whether you have BPD or not, if you struggle with making friends, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Share your experience so that somebody else can learn from you. If you feel like this video was beneficial and somebody else would love to hear it, definitely share this content. The more people that we're bringing into this flower garden, the better. And of course, subscribe so that way you are not missing when I go live and when I post my other content on my community tab, my shorts, all the things. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads. I am working on making a Facebook group because I have a page, but I'm gonna probably get rid of it so that way I can have a place where everybody can comment and have a space to say what's on their mind as well. So, like I said, I want it to be community wide. I want it to be a community effort. And the more that we're adding to each other, I think the better. So yeah, y'all be on the lookout for that. I'll have a post for that somewhere. But outside of that, again, I thank y'all so much for being here with me tonight. Thank you so much for being so supportive. I see that we are in the 790s as far as subscribers go. So thank y'all for that. But we are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So the more people that we are bringing into this this flower garden, the better. So if you have more people that can come in and join this conversation, please, please, please share it with them. Let them know. Tell them to come in and subscribe. Let me think. Outside of that, and oh my gosh, these eyelashes are in my eyeballs. But outside of that, guys, I thank y'all again. I think that's pretty much all I have to say because I know me. I'm going to ramble. I think that's it. I love y'all very much. I thank you for your support. If you choose to donate or show up to the party, whatever your case is, thank you in advance. I love y'all very, very much. I'll see y'all in the next live. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the next post. Either way, I'm going to see you later. Stay square, and I love you. Mwah.